and it's a little wavy probably from some condensation, but I wasn't looking to spend $10 on one issue, so might as well get something that's a little dinged up, and that's fine with me. Here's another Star Wars issue. This was only $2, so I got this one too. Lord knows what's going on here. Luke and R2 on a mission, and this guy in the back looks like he's from like Mask, or he totally looks like the main baddie from the Mask TV show in the 80s. I think they were, what the name of that group was, Venom or Viper. He looks just like that lead villain there. So this one I missed out on a couple weeks ago. Legion of Superheroes #1. They had a few different covers. They had this and a blank cover if you wanted to have it, artwork done at a con, or then they had one that just had the main 3 for the Legion. So Saturn Girl and man, I forget the other two's names. It's been so long. Last time I really read Legion was when Mark Waid was on it, doing the Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes line. I really loved that, but of course that's quite some time ago, and then they just didn't have their own comic for quite a while. So interesting to see what this, how this goes. I trust Bendis, but Legion of Superheroes, it's very hit or miss with me. So hopefully this reminds me of the Mark Waid stuff, and I run with it. It was a little weird. My local to my workplace comic shop didn't have any issues of this the last 2 weeks. But the shop I went to today had literally probably 15 copies of each of the covers. So I don't know who did their ordering, but they kind of screwed it up there. They should probably send some issues over to the other location. This is a Batman Universe. This is actually why I went to the shop today. They have 2 series, Batman Universe and Superman Up in the Sky, which are basically reprints of the lead stories from those Walmart giant one-shots that they had. So this is a Batman story written by Bendis, and then the Superman story in Up in the Sky is written by Tom King. So basically switching the characters that they normally handle in the main DC universe. And Bendis's the Batman universe stuff, it's funny. He has a bit more humor than you probably expect. And then Nick Darrington does the art, and he has just a great simple artwork here. I mean, not too much in the way of lines or details, but it's very striking. So I really like his stuff. I was looking for issue 4 of both of those. They didn't have issue 4 of Batman Universe for some reason, so I picked up 5, and then Up in the Sky they didn't have 4 or 5, so I'll have to look next week when I go on Wednesday and see if my regular shop has any. Conan the Barbarian 11. This, I think, well, probably more like next issue, but this is towards the end of this Conan story that Jason Aaron's been doing. He does almost every issue is like a flashback and then a current day story kind of intertwining. So this is, I think, probably towards the end of this story because it's been ramping up. This stuff's great. The Conan work is great, and Jason Aaron does a good job with it. Captain America 16. I'm behind in reading Cap, but what I've read, I think I'm up to like issue 8 or so far, so I'm really behind, but it's been good. Ta-Nehisi Coates here, he came on Black Panther, and there was a big push for Black Panther. I honestly, I picked up the first few issues, didn't like it. It was a little too political, and there was a lot of bureaucratic stuff going on in there, and it was to me at least, a little boring, so stopped reading that. But Cap so far is a lot more straightforward from him, so it's been good. And all the covers have been sorry, all the covers have been Alex Ross. So I tend to think he draws Steve Rogers a little old, older than he needs to, maybe. But they're always nice looking covers. Amazing Spider-Man, still with the 2099 tie-in. I have no idea what's going on here. Spider-Man and future Spider-Man, and for some reason Doctor Doom. So when I get to this, I'm sure it'll make sense. But I had no idea that Doctor Doom was part of this, and we'll see what it's about at a later date. Batman 83. This is coming up to the end of Tom King's Batman run, and last couple issues of City of Bane here. So I believe next issue, if I remember right, is the final Tom King issue. It's been great. And then 85 is where the new team with James Tynion takes over. I'm not looking forward to the change, honestly. I've read some James Tynion stuff, and it's very hit or miss with me. I'm not saying he's bad, but it's just, sometimes I like it, sometimes I find it a little too comic booky. So we'll see. I might just go ahead and drop Batman, because Detective Comics is so good right now that, one Batman is probably enough. Year of the Villain Aquaman number 54. This is one of those gimmicky covers where it's got the layer of artwork and then the regular cover behind it. So has Black Manta with the Year of the Villain stuff here. Like I said last time, I'm not a big fan of this look for Aquaman. He's very Jason Momoa. But I've been keeping up with it, so. Then finally for this week, got He-Man number 1. I guess it's a 6-issue miniseries that ties into, they just had He-Man / Injustice, I think was what it was, not too long ago. And in that, they kind of introduced the idea of like a multiverse where He-Man in the Master Universe might be one of the 52 worlds in the DC Universe. So, looking forward to see what they do there. I love He-Man. This is the variant cover with Skeletor on it. The other one was just it was He-Man, but it was almost like they'd taken a photo and then reworked it. I wasn't a fan of the look. It was a little too computerized looking for me. So got this one, hoping this is good. They're supposed to be coming out with a He-Man Netflix show at some point here with Kevin Smith on some sort of writing duty. So I don't know if I trust Kevin to stay with it. When I went and picked this up at the comic book store, I was talking to one of the guys, and we were going back and forth about, that sounds really great, but can Kevin Smith keep a ongoing story going? I mean, like I was saying, I still am waiting for Daredevil Bullseye issue 2, which he started probably over a decade ago, around the time that the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie came out. And then also he had Batman the Widening Gyre, which I think he kind of finished it. I think he did like 2 miniseries and it was supposed to be 3. So it was kind of like it left off on a cliffhanger, and obviously there was supposed to be another story there that he never got around to. And then he also had Spider-Man Black Cat, where he started the story. I think he did 2 issues, and then there was literally like a 5-year pause, and then he finally got around to finishing the issues. And it was only like a 4-issue miniseries, so I mean, can I trust you to write an ongoing television series if you can't finish 4 comic book issues? I don't know, but hopefully we'll see that sometime in the future. So that's it for today, guys. I think next week is I forget how many things I had on my list for pulls, so we'll see. And then obviously coming up, Black Friday sales and stuff like that. Hopefully be getting some back issues. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.